Leopold Hawke was the epitome of a classic spy. With his piercing blue eyes, debonair charm, and impeccable dress sense, he was the personification of 1960s elegance. He belonged to the top echelon of British intelligence, but his code name, Raven, was whispered, even within MI6, only amongst the highest clearance levels. The year was 1967, and the Cold War was at its zenith. The Iron Curtain was seemingly impenetrable, but secrets still wafted through the air like whispers. One of these secrets reached the ears of the Prime Minister, who in an urgent dispatch summoned Hawke to 10 Downing Street. As Hawke entered the room, the Prime Minister stood by a map pinned with various notes and photos. He handed Hawke a file titled Project Minerva. The Prime Minister explained that a Soviet physicist, Dr. Mikhail Novikov, was believed to have created a device that could manipulate weather conditions, codenamed Stormbringer. The device was capable of causing catastrophic natural disasters. Hawke's mission was to confirm the existence of this device, and if possible, extract Dr. Novikov or destroy his research. Intelligence reports suggest that Novikov was working in a secret facility, hidden in the Carpathian Mountains. Hawke set forth on his mission to Romania. His contact in Bucharest was a beguiling, mysterious double agent named Mariana. Mariana had worked for years deep within the Romanian intelligence and had obtained blueprints of the hidden facility. Their meeting was in a dimly lit cafe. Mariana's feline grace was matched by her sharp intellect. She handed Hawke the blueprints along with the old Carpathian amulet, claiming it would protect him. Intrigued but skeptical, Hawke accepted the gift. They devised a plan to infiltrate the facility via an underground waterway that passed beneath it. After a night of preparation, Mariana and Hawke, disguised as a shepherd, traveled in an old truck towards the Carpathian Mountains. Their journey was treacherous, but Hawke's unwavering nerve and Mariana's knowledge of the terrain made it feasible. As they neared the facility, they bid each other farewell with a lingering kiss. Mariana reminded Hawke that the fate of the world was in his hands. The full moon illuminated the treacherous path to the waterway. Hawke's heart raced as he dove into the icy waters. The Carpathian amulet around his neck seemed to glow, and as he submerged, he felt an otherworldly strength envelop him. Navigating through the labyrinth of tunnels, he emerged inside the facility. He quickly incapacitated the guards and located Dr. Novikov's lab. The room was dominated by the colossal Stormbringer device, a cacophony of dials and lights. Novikov was hunched over a set of notes. When he saw Hawke, fear and relief washed over his face. He had longed for liberation from the shackles of the KGB, who had forced him into creating this abomination. As Hawke and Novikov made their way through the tunnels, the amulet glowed brighter. They could hear a distant chanting, as though the spirits of the Carpathians were guiding them. They met Mariana at the rendezvous point, but their relation was cut short by the rumbling of Soviet tanks approaching. As they prepared to fend off the enemy, Mariana revealed a secret. She was the last of the Carpathian Oracles, protectors of the ancient lands. The amulet she gave Hawke was a relic, safeguarded by her ancestors, capable of awakening the spirits of the Carpathians. In a swirling torrent of wind, the amulet levitated, drawing upon an ancient energy. A ghostly legion of warriors materialized, their ethereal armor reflecting moonlight.
Fight with honor, for the heart of the Carpathians beats within us,
Mariana whispered. The spectral army charged, and the tanks were effortlessly destroyed. Hawke, Mariana, and Novikov made their way to a hidden airstrip where a British plane awaited. Once airborne, Hawke knew there were questions that needed answers. Mariana explained that for centuries, the Carpathian Oracles protected ancient secrets and relics. The Soviet facility was constructed on sacred ground, and the Stormbringer was the perversion of an ancient knowledge. Hawke, always the pragmatist, found himself grappling with the ethereal events of the night. His sense of duty, however, never wavered. In London, the debriefing was tense. The Prime Minister, along with the head of MI6, listened intently as Hawke recounted his mission, omitting the mystical elements. Dr. Novikov was secure and would aid the West with his knowledge. Hawke was urged to keep the events secret, but he was assured that the knowledge of the Stormbringer would never be exploited. Days later, Hawke visited Mariana at a safe house in the English countryside. The weight of the world seemed lifted from her shoulders. They talked about the future, and Mariana offered Hawke the amulet once more. Hawke refused, saying, "Keep it, for it's a part of a world I'm only beginning to understand. It belongs to you and the spirits who guard it." They parted ways, knowing their lives would never be the same. Years later, in the early 1990s, after the Soviet Union collapsed, rumors circulated about a British agent involved in the destruction of the Soviet weather control device. Reports also spoke of an ancient order and a mythical battle. In an unassuming English cottage, an old Leopold Hawke sifted through his medals and accolades. A knock at the door revealed a young journalist, eager to learn about the Raven. The old spy entertained the young man's questions, and as the evening shadows grew longer, he decided it was time for the truth to find its way into the light. The journalist was enthralled by the tale. He asked if any proof remained of that night's events. Hawke handed him an envelope containing copies of the facility's blueprints and a photo of Mariana wearing the Carpathian amulet. The next morning, the young journalist's article was the talk of the nation. People wondered if the extraordinary tale was real or the embellished memory of an old spy. In an English garden, a figure, seemingly untouched by time, stood amongst the flowers. Mariana, wearing the amulet, whispered a prayer for the guardian who once fought alongside her. She knew the world was not ready to comprehend the entirety of what transpired that night, but with the seeds of truth sown, the spirits of the Carpathians could rest, and perhaps, one day, so could she.